Okay, so I made $76,000 last month from 100% inbound traffic. Freaking crazy. No ads, no outreach, no nothing, just a simple content system. So I thought it'd be cool to show you guys first the principles behind why this system is so dang effective. And then two, the technical breakdown of how to set up a content system like this and run it. And then how to actually leverage this beast of a system to make high five figures a month, 100% inbound every single month. So let's get right into it. So part one is functional content positioning. You see, most people have no clue why anyone watches content. And if you don't know why people watch content, how are you going to create content that people want to watch that makes you money? So if you can't answer these questions, it'll be very hard for you to make money with content or make content consistently that people actually want to watch. So I want to teach you something that I've came up with myself just by analyzing the world that's helped me make really good decisions when it comes to making content, at least so far. I'm always learning, guys, but let me show you guys what I have. This is what I call the origins of consumption. This is kind of a map that explains why do people even watch content? Why are you watching this video right now? Do you know? Because if you can analyze the driving forces behind why people do stuff, you can align your content to match what they want to do. Meaning you get clicks, you get views, you get money, and they get the value that they deserve or that they want. So let's get right into it. So first thing we have is H. So H stands for hunger. And what hunger really means is just the driving forces that naturally appear in human beings. These are things that are just set by the natural laws of being a human. So the first thing is actually being hungry. So in our first example, we'll go over what this looks like. But driving forces, the hunger can mean anything. It could be a hunger for success. That's very vague, but think about it. You can be hungry to make money, hungry to win in sports, pretty much a desire for status, desire for all these different things. It's the life force 8, as you learn about in cashvertising. Yeah, it's just driving forces behind why we do stuff. And so from these inner hungers that we have, it then leads us to problems. So then the problem in the hunger example is like, you need to eat some food. You're hungry. So now you have a problem, which is like, you don't have any food. So what do? You go to the fridge in our 21st century world. But think about back in the day, they would go out and look for food. They'd hunt for living animals to kill and eat, or they would hunt for berries or something like that. So when you have hunger that goes into problems, then you go searching. So you search for solutions to these problems. Then it goes to SP, which means you see potential. So it's like potential candidates. So you're judging and looking at all these trees and plants and thinking, which one looks like a good potential candidate for me to eat? And then once you see potential, you then consume the thing. And then after you consume it, you make a judgment. So did this taste good? And did it satisfy my hunger? Did I enjoy eating this? And did it satisfy me? And so based on that, whenever you see that same potential again, that same fruit, that same food, you will make a judgment of whether you're going to eat it again or not. So if you ate a leaf that did not taste good and it didn't fill you up, what are you not going to do when you see it again? You're not going to eat it. But on the other hand, if you found a nice apple tree with juicy, fresh apples and you ate it and it satisfied your hunger and it tasted good, well, you're probably going to eat that thing again when you see it. And this is exactly how content works. So let's make this really clear for you guys. I know this sounds a little bit deep, but let's get right into it. So the first example, like we talked about, is going to be the biological, just hungry example. So the H, hunger, means that you're literally hungry. You need food. We need calories to survive. These are laws that are set by the world, but you can't change that. You need food to survive, so you're hungry. The problem is you have no food to eat. That is number 2, the P. Now, S, when you go searching, what are you doing? You're looking for things that are easy to eat, and it looks like it tastes good. It's juicy. And then you see potential. So this is like you're going out, you're searching for stuff, and then you see a fruit tree, and you're like, man, that fruit looks good to eat. And then you consume it. So you actually taste the fruit, which is be the consume. And then the judgment circle would be, did it taste good? Like, was it enjoyable to eat? And then did it satisfy the hunger? Because there's some things that satisfy your hunger, but you don't necessarily enjoy eating them. You would eat it if you were starving, but it's not something you would just choose to eat all the time. These are two very important distinctions we have to make, especially when it comes to the content example, which we'll get to in just a second. So did it taste good? Did it satisfy the hunger? If it didn't taste good and it didn't fill you up, whenever you see that thing again, what are you going to do? You're probably not going to eat it. But if it did taste good and it did satisfy the hunger, then you're probably going to eat that thing when you see it again, the next time you're hungry. So really cool. Now, how do we apply this to content? You're probably thinking, KJ, what the frick are we talking about, bro? I promise this is life-changing when it comes to making content, when you understand this. So the second example is this. Let's apply this to my main copywriting channel, which if you haven't seen it, you can check out the link in the description. You can learn copywriting for free. But the hunger is people want status. They don't want to be broke. They have this driving force to make progress in life, to provide for their families. These are just inherent drives inside of them. And they want to be respected by other men, by other people in society. So what do? They have this drive. They don't want to be broke. And so the problem is like they're not making money. And in my specific instance, they're not making money with copywriting. So they've already identified a potential solution using the skill of copy, but they're still not making money yet. That's their big problem. And so the hunger is that they don't want to be broke. The problem is they're still broke and they're not making money with copywriting. They want to solve that. So now searching, what are they searching for? Well, in my example, these people are coming to YouTube and they're searching for outreach methods for copywriters. They're searching for templates. They're searching for frameworks. They're searching for tips. They're looking for easy way out to this problem of not making money with copywriting. So now, see potential. This is when they're coming to YouTube and they're looking at different titles and thumbnails. This is like the fruit, the outer casing. Like, how does this content look? Does it look like it's going to taste good? Does it look juicy? Does it look like does it look like the perfect solution to the problem I'm trying to solve? This is where a lot of people mess up because they just copy Mr. Beast thumbnails, right? They go with a crazy face and a name and like a big colorful things. And it's like, dude, you have accounting content. Accountants are not looking for that. Like, what are you doing? It's all about what are your customers searching for? There is no one catch-all way to make thumbnails on YouTube. It always depends on all of these points that came before that, right? So what is the hunger? What is the problem? What are they searching for based on the hunger and problem? And so if you look at my thumbnails, let's take a look at two examples. Look at this first example. The exact outreach method I used to sign 75 plus copywriting clients. So as you can see, what does this have? It has outreach method, it has 75 plus copywriting clients, and it has I used, which implies credibility. So they're looking for someone trustworthy to give them advice on how to get copywriting clients to solve their problem of not making money with copywriting. So this is perfectly branded, at least in my opinion. And I mean, it already has like 4,000, 5,000 views in just like a week or two, which is pretty dope for this small niche. So yeah, crazy. And if you look at the thumbnail, it doesn't have a crazy face on it or some big colorful things. It looks simple and valuable and like I'm going to teach something, which is how I want my thumbnails to be. Now, if we look at another thumbnail, check this out. 4 copywriting frameworks you should probably learn. I made $315K from these frameworks. Once again, they want to make money. That's the whole reason when they're looking for these things. So I talk about how I've made money with these frameworks. I actually show them the framework, showing them the value, the fruit, the outer casing. And I literally say frameworks. It's just one of the things that they're looking for. And so these are both very well packaged pieces of content. And if you look, they look very similar, don't they? They have very similar layout. We have text on the top, we have subtext, we have me in the corner, and then we have either a list or a framework or some kind of consumable looking thing. And they all look the same. Why do they look the same? Because guess what? If someone eats of my content, if they consume the content and they liked it, I want them to see another piece of content that looks very similar. So that what happens? They think, oh, that last piece of content I enjoyed. This one looks similar. I'll enjoy it too. Click. This happens subconsciously. And so people who have a different thumbnail for every single video that doesn't look remotely the same, you're losing the power of that branding, the compounding effect of, hey, I like this last video that looked like that. I'll probably like this one. Click. That is so powerful, so powerful. Now, moving on to consume. So you have to make it easy to consume. That's the part of making your content taste good. So if you have terrible microphone quality, terrible video quality, yes, those things are not vitally important. Like you can still give value with a bad microphone and bad video. Like don't use that as an excuse. But think about it. If it tastes better, people are going to want to eat it more. Same with content. If it's easier to consume, if it sounds good, if it looks good, people are just going to want to watch it more. It just is what it is. But now the most important aspect is that you actually satisfy the hunger. You have to over deliver like crazy. So in that second example of my video, 4 copywriting frameworks you should probably learn, it's a 25-minute video where I go over 4 frameworks that have literally made me over $100,000 as a copywriter for free. For free. I over-delivered like crazy on that video, and I gave away the templates and stuff. Like it's just nuts. And so make your content easy to consume and over-deliver like crazy. And now moving on to the judgment part, you got to think, will they watch my video again if they see this thumbnail? So if the thumbnail looked good and it addresses their hunger, they click it, and the video satisfies their hunger, guess what's going to happen if they see a similar thumbnail again? They're probably going to click on it. And so this is really, really important. And what I want to do is I want to make this super tangible for you guys and give you 5 questions. These are 5 questions that I promise if you answer, your content will improve immediately as soon as you answer these questions. So let's get into it. Number 1, what hunger is your audience trying to satisfy? They are on YouTube for a reason, looking for content in your niche. So what is it? What is that hunger? What is that driving force deep inside of them that they want to satisfy? Then number 2, what problems arise because of that hunger? So what are the main problems that they are facing? What problems do they consider to be the biggest roadblocks in their current journey? Then number 3, what are they searching for to solve those problems? Like what, in my example, they're looking for frameworks, for tips, for templates, for outreach strategies. Even though it's really their mindset, like their mindset is really why they're messed up, they're not looking for mindset training. So I'm not going to give them mindset training on the front end. I'll teach that to them later, but if they're not looking for that, they're not going to click on the video. And so think, what are they searching for to solve those problems? So my copywriters want to hear about outreach methods. And so a lot of my videos, the titles have outreach method or getting your first client. And then I teach them what they actually need to hear later, but I hook them in with what they want to hear. Then number 4, how can you position your content to be as appealing as possible to that target viewer? So once you know the hunger and the problem and what they're searching for, you should easily be able to make a packaging that matches exactly what they're searching for. And so that's number 4. How do you position your content to be as appealing as possible? So I could have titled this first video a million things, right? The exact outreach method I use to get 75 plus copywriting clients. I could have titled it the smart way to get clients with copywriting. I could have titled it, try this to go get copywriting clients. But I made it specifically exactly what they wanted to hear, at least to the best of my ability, and it's done really well, like 4,000 views, And that's generated me a lot of revenue. So number 5 is, does your content satisfy the hunger? So it's not enough just to get clicks. That's just step 1. It's a very important step that you cannot skip. But if you just get people to watch your videos and nothing else happens, they don't satisfy the hunger, then they're not going to come back. The next time they see your content, they see your branding, your videos, they're going to be like, he's just baiting me. I watched that video last time and he did not deliver. I'm not watching the next one. That's why you guys are not building loyal cult followings, is because you're not over delivering. Like your thumbnails and your titles promise way more than you actually deliver versus the opposite. When you make a title and thumbnail that's good, but then whenever they watch the video, it's even better. Like that's how you build a really loyal following. And that's hard to do, but it takes time. And let's talk about how we do that. So moving on to part 2, the Genesis system. You see, you need one content system that is the heart of all of your content and information. And from this one system, you can generate endless forms of content across all kinds of other platforms. But it all starts by having this one cornerstone content system. And this content system solves the deep problems that your niches have. It's usually long form content, and you need to be pushing yourself on the edge of what you know every single video. So I'm recording this video right now. This thing will probably be pretty long. It's very complicated. And right now, I'm at my edge. I'm not going to lie. Like I'm stumbling over some words. You can hear me talking about it already. This is really complicated stuff, and it's hard to explain. I'm pushing myself. Every freaking video, I'm pushing myself harder and harder and harder. I'm trying to make content that's more valuable, that's more complicated, but it's also, see, I'm already screwing up, guys. Like this is tough stuff. You need to be pushing yourself. If your videos are not pushing what you currently know, like your limit of knowledge, you're not doing it right. Because then you're just going to stay the same. Your audience is going to get the same brain dead information every single time. You have to be pushing yourself. And the most important thing about this is it must add real value to the market, meaning you must actually solve problems. So in one of my main channel videos, I made a thing called how I made 70K from my low ticket school. And it was an hour-long video showing every single step. And it didn't get that many views. But here's the thing. If anyone was going to sell a low ticket school and they found that video, it would make them $10,000 a month from one video. I showed every single thing. And so make content that doesn't just go viral and appeal to a million 12-year-olds. Make content that solves one specific problem completely. Because the people who have that problem are going to love you. And you're going to make them so much money and add so much value to their life by solving that problem deeply. So don't just try to go viral. So now let's actually look at the diagram of this content system. So check it out. So if you haven't seen my video on systems, go watch the how I make 62K a month on semi-autopilot systems leverage. I'll put a thumbnail up on the screen so you can kind of see what that video looks like. That'll explain systems a lot more in depth. But let's just go ahead and talk about this content system. So on the input side of things, we have information that I consume. That is the first step to making content. People don't even think about this. I learned this from Sam Ovens. But what makes the best chefs in the world? Is it their process? Is it the way they cook? Is it the materials they use as far as cooking pans and stuff? No, it's always the ingredients they source. If Gordon Ramsay uses moldy tomatoes and stale pasta, it's going to suck no matter what he does to it. So it's all about the ingredients. And so if your content sucked, it's probably because the ingredients you're getting in your head suck. It's all about the information you consume. And so that is the input. Now, the process is the actual creating the content, which we're going to go over in depth in a second. And the output is weekly uploads or weekly posts that add value to your niche. And so this is my content system right now for making this exact video you're watching. And this all happens in an arena, which is the YouTube platform / algorithm. So for example, this content we're posting on YouTube is different from sending an email newsletter. There's different rules to the arena. So on YouTube, I have to have a title and thumbnail. I have to abide by that. There's no way someone watches my video if I don't title it and add a thumbnail. This is just one of those simple rules to the arena. But you need to be aware of arenas so that you understand you have to play by the right rules. If you're sending an email newsletter and you don't have all your records set up and you don't have an unsubscribe thing and you're going in the spam box, you're not going to make any progress. You must understand the arena you're playing in. And then the feedback from the system is views, comments, sales calls, and just personal reviews from me and my team reviewing the videos. And the whole goal of this system, right? You build a system to get an outcome, and then you optimize the system to get that outcome better and more of that outcome. So the outcome that we want to iterate for is more value. Because over time, these are the people who will win. The people who add the most value to the marketplace. That is who will win over time. So there are people in my niche who can make a viral video that pops off and gets 100,000 views, and the next video gets 1,000. They lost all those views. It's a flash in the pan. They're not adding real value to the marketplace because that's what creates a loyal following. Because guess what? You're serving them. You're serving your customers. So we always optimize for more value. We don't optimize for views. We don't optimize for anything else, for comments. All we optimize for is value. That's all we care about. So let's get right into actually breaking down the inputs and then the process of this system. So the inputs for your content system, like I said, these are the thoughts that are coming in your head. So how do you get good information, good ideas into your head so that you can actually spit out good ideas on the other side? Well, the first step is to set big goals. If you do not have a goal, you don't know what information to hunt for to solve that goal. And so on my main channel, my copywriting channel, I made a series called Making 0 to 100K from Scratch. And a year ago, I set a massive goal of getting 100,000 subscribers and making 100K and all of this. And in those first videos, I outlined the skills that I would need to make that happen. Being lighting and speaking and good audio and value and all of these things. And so because I set that big goal, it defined what information I needed to hunt for. So I knew that I had to get good at copywriting. I had to get good at speaking. Where do I figure out how to get good at those things? And so then once you have those big goals and you have the subcategories of what you need to learn to make that goal happen, then it comes down to number 2, which is consume good quality inputs. And what I mean by quality inputs is the first thing is that they've done what you want to do. So I went to business college for 4 years and learned from a bunch of goofy old people who had never owned a business. They never owned a business. They're teaching accounting and all this stuff and like whatnot. And like they were just employees. So they didn't actually teach me about, I didn't even learn how to start an LLC. Like I knew nothing about business because I was learning from people who had never started and owned a business. And so you have to consume good inputs. The next thing that I like to do is I like to avoid G-Wagon gurus. People who make videos just flexing about their life, it works. Like, don't get me wrong, that makes them a lot of money, okay? Because people want to just see people with rich stuff and go buy their stuff. But I avoid them at all costs because they're not adding real value to my life. They're not solving any problems. They're just making me feel bad. That's all that they're doing with those G-Wagons. They're flexing on you so that your pain comes up and you feel bad about yourself, which makes you want to do something, which means you buy their course. I avoid those people at all costs. It's up to you, but that's not a good input. You need actual value coming into your head. So go read Naval. Go watch Charlie Morgan. Go watch old Sam Ovens. Go look for people who have done what you want to do, who are giving away real value. That's how you do good inputs. Now, on to the process. What is the process for actually creating this video? This is kind of the tangible stuff that you probably came to this video for. So if you haven't been paying attention, now is when you want to pay attention. You must break down every single step in the process of creating content so that you can optimize it and automate it to make a lot of really good content. So if you wonder how I put out so much, it's because I have mastered the process. Maybe not even mastered it. I've made progress on mastering the process. So here's how my process works. So step one is I have to capture raw ideas. So once I have those good inputs, as I'm going about my day trying to solve my own problems, I have good ideas because the inputs get processed in my subconscious and my brain spits out good ideas. And once again, if you think you're stupid right now, you're not stupid. You're just listening to stupid people. If you start listening to smart people, you will have smart ideas. I promise you. It's crazy how that works. So first step is to capture those raw ideas. So I have notepads on every single one of my devices. I have actual physical notepads when I go in the sauna or I go to the gym. So at any point in my day, I have somewhere I can capture ideas. If you think you'll remember it, you won't. You must capture all of these raw thoughts. So that's the first step, is have somewhere to capture them. 2, you must set aside time to expand/frame these raw ideas into actual content. So once I have an idea for a video, I must sit down and think, okay, what am I actually going to teach? How do I frame this in a way that's going to be valuable to the audience that I serve? Step number 3 is to record the content, which is what I'm doing right now. So you must set aside time to actually record these raw ideas or like the expanded ideas from your raw ideas. And number 4 is to edit the content. And number 5 is to upload content. So this all seems very simple to you, but I'm going to tell you how people in my position and much higher than me do this at a very high level. And it comes down to three steps. The first step is you must habitualize this, which is basically like automating it in your brain. So you must have a set time every single day at the same time when you do each one of those steps in that process. So in the gym every morning, I am capturing raw ideas. In the sauna, I'm capturing raw ideas. I go on walks to generate ideas and capture them. I have set times in my day, every single day, when I capture raw ideas. Then, every single Sunday, I expand on all of my ideas. So Sunday is my day where I sit down and really turn these things into actual content. And then every single morning, as soon as I get back from the gym and read my Bible, I record. I record a video every single day, every day. Whether it's for this channel, my main channel, my devotions channel, I record every single day. And I've habitualized this. So now I'm used to doing this. I've been doing it for months now, and I just record every day. It happens automatically in my brain. There's no resistance. There's no pain around it. I just do it. But that happened over 2 months of making myself sit down and record daily. But now it's part of my day. And then 4, moving on to the next step, which is automate. So once you've habitualized everything you need to do, you need to automate it whenever you have the money or resources to do that. And so I have an editor, shout out to Caleb, my man, my best friend, who edits these videos for me now. And now he does all the heavy lifting on the editing side so I can continue to make more content. And the third thing is iterate. So once you actually are putting out content, you have to iterate. So when I first started my journey, I watched an interview from Mr. Beast, and someone asked him, how do you win on YouTube? And he said, it's very simple, but none of you are going to do it. He said, post 200 videos, and every video improve one thing. So that's what we do every single time. If you look back at our old videos, you can see us improving every single video. one little thing here and there. And so what we do is every time we post a video, me and my editor will wait a day, and then we'll watch the video with fresh eyes, and we'll take notes on every single thing that we thought we could improve. And then for the next video, we focus on those things. And we just do that every time. And so you want to habitualize every part of the process, then automate any part of the process you can automate, and then iterate on the entire thing. That is how you make really good content. And once again, we're iterating to create more value. So let's go over how do we actually iterate? This is probably the most valuable part of this video, which is why I hit it in the middle. So most people clicked off a long time ago. So you guys who are still here, man, I hope you enjoy this, because this is literally the core of all of our success. All of our success with inbound has come down to this right here. So if you want to iterate a system, you must figure out what variables do I have control over, and what do I want to optimize those variables for? So like we said, we're optimizing for more value. And so what are the variables of value? What determines whether a video is valuable or not? Well, from the input side of things, we have the problem the content solves. So basically how useful the idea is. Then we have the uniqueness of the idea. How new is this? Because the more new it is, the more people are going to have hope that it works, the more they're actually going to make it work. It's kind of crazy, but that's really valuable, having a new idea. Now, moving on to the process side of things, the packaging of the idea. So the title, the thumbnail, the intro, as far as the YouTube system. Then the ease of consumption. So how good is the audio and video? Is it easy? Does it taste good? Is it fun to consume? And then the most important thing, which is the delivery of the value, right? So like, how is this value presented? Is it presented in the most valuable, tangible, easiest way possible for you guys to solve your problems with? So based on these variables of value, we can come up with iteration questions, okay? So the first three are for input, which is, does this video solve a painful problem for my niche? Yes or no? If you can't answer yes to that question, do not make the video. Don't do it. Does this video solve a painful problem for my niche? So I know, based on a ton of questions from my students in Copy Elite, that people really suck at inbound. And this video is going to be a huge help for whoever has the attention span to watch the whole thing, right? And then, so move on from that. Does this solve a painful problem for my niche? Check. Next, is this idea useful to my niche? Like, do they think this is going to be useful? Which is kind of the same thing. And number three, is this idea unique/new, or is it conveyed in a new way to my niche? So think about that. What did I call it earlier? I called it the origins of consumption map. No one has ever showed you that. Why? Because I created it. So it's new, it's unique, which gives you guys hope and shows you a new perspective on life and business, which means it's going to help you. So it's valuable. So then, moving on to the process iteration questions, which is this idea packaged in a way that will compel my niche to click on it? Next, is this video easy to consume? Is it clean audio, clear video? Am I speaking clean? Does it sound good? Then lastly, is this the best way that we can deliver the value or idea to our niche? And so based on those iteration questions, you can start coming up with ideas to improve those variables. So basically, those are the things you want to ask yourself. But what I want to do now is I want to give you some answers that we have used to iterate our system. So we asked ourselves, how do we improve these variables? These variables we just outlined, how do we improve them, right? So when it comes to the problem the idea solves, what do we do? Well, this is where things get really tactical. I promise you guys, you need to pay attention to this. This is really good stuff. So the problem the idea solves, right? That's the variable. Now, some ideas for how to improve that. I can consume better inputs and content. So what did I do? I went out and bought Charlie Morgan's course, and now my content is immediately better. Why? Because I have much better inputs. Then I can try to solve and create more solutions to my own problems. So if I'm solving bigger problems in my life more creatively, guess what? I'm going to have better things to bring back to tell you guys. Then I can study my market to understand their problems more. So if I understand my market more, I can make ideas that are more useful, right? Now moving on to the uniqueness of ideas. Once again, I can consume better inputs, better content, then I can spend more time thinking. So the reason why I'm winning versus a lot of people on YouTube is because I think 10 times more than they do. I go for walks every single day. I spend time sitting in the chair with a notepad every single day. So spend more time thinking. Now, moving on to packaging of the idea. Once again, I can study my market to truly understand what their problems are. Then I can create a list of proven stimuli or power words for my niche. So for instance, templates, frameworks, outreach methods, client, those are all really powerful words in the copywriting niche for my guys. Then I can create a proven framework and SOP for us to make thumbnails with, right? Then I can study proven title and thumbnail frameworks to get a better idea of how to package my stuff. Now, for the ease of consumption variable, I can get a better microphone. I can get a 4K video camera. I can communicate better. These are all simple ways to improve that. Then when it comes to delivery of value, I can have a whiteboard, which I do in my other videos. I can use colors on the whiteboard. I can use intriguing words. I can make sure everything is angled in a way that benefits you guys. So, craziness. In these videos, I can have clean/smooth editing. So if you look at our editing, we're not perfect. We're iterating every single time. But I hope that our editing is enhancing the value, not distracting you. Everyone else's videos on YouTube are so distracting. I feel like they're trying to market to 4-year-olds. Like, guys, stop that. Stop. We want to have clean editing that adds to the value. It makes it easier for you to consume, not just brainwash you to watching the whole thing. And we iterate on all these variables every single video. So we really focus on like 1 to 2 at a time. So like in this video, for example, we really focused on helping you guys understand these concepts using the editing. So the editing's gotten a lot better. And yeah, so cool. Now, moving on to part 3, which is omnichannel conversion. So once you have your Genesis content system in place, now is when things get fun because it becomes very high leverage for you to just take that long form, juicy, problem solving, valuable content and just take chunks of it to distribute across all platforms easily. So the first thing you want to do is you want to repurpose your core content across those multiple platforms. And then 2, you want to set up a conversion system for each platform. So if you look at this diagram here, this is just a few of the ways that we repurpose these YouTube long form videos. So we take them and they get made into Instagram posts. So we'll take the value from the video and we'll make it into a swipeable Instagram post that adds value to the niche. Then what we do is we add those same posts over to X. So we'll do tweets and we'll do threads and giveaways on Twitter using this YouTube long form value. Then we'll take them and we'll make them into emails. So my email guy will send out emails based on these videos that I create. And all of these lead back to a VSL, which basically explains our offer and gets people who are interested to buy our product or to schedule a call with us. And so the 2 things you want to really understand here is like, you must repurpose your content because it's insanely high leverage. You can just hire people to do that once you're making money. And then 2, you only post content to convert, okay? So let's go over this really simply with the laws of inbound success. So the first law is you should only target viewers who have the problem your product solves. So you are not trying to go viral. We are not trying to get 1 million views of 12-year-olds who are bored. Why? Because you're not going to make money from them, ever. What you should be trying to do is get the most views from the right audience, the people who have the problem that your product solves. Pretty self-explanatory, but people seem to forget this. So all my copywriting videos, guess what? They're only angled to copywriters who have the problem that I can solve. Even my thumbnails, they're not highly edited, formatted for 12-year-olds. They're more advanced. They look like I'm going to teach you something, someone who actually wants to learn, because those are the people who I can help with my product. Very simple, but man, so many people overlook this. Number 2 is you should focus on the Genesis content system. Do not worry about all the content you're repurposing across Twitter, across Instagram, whatever. Pick the source of content that's going to be your main thing and always keep it the main thing. So for me, that's YouTube. For you, that might be a weekly newsletter like Dan Coe does. Or for you, it might be Twitter threads. You might be like the Twitter guy. Whatever it is, just focus on one system. You must have an idea of what is your main content system. Do not get lost in trying to blow up on TikTok. That's a giant waste of your time. Focus on one long form system and then just repurpose that everywhere. Next, number 3 is you should set up one repurposing platform at a time. Do not try to take on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and all these things and do them all poorly. Just choose one. Once you've got the YouTube system rolling, choose one other one and start rolling on there. Once that is done and it's automated, it's working, then you can move on to the next one. So for instance, when we had YouTube, we started doing an email. We started doing 3 emails a week. And once we got the email system rolling, then we started doing Instagram. We focused on Instagram for a month. Once that got rolling, we started doing Twitter. And so focus on one system at a time. Then number 4, which ties directly into number 3, which is you must have a conversion system for every platform. If you're generating views and you're not capitalizing on them, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money. So for Instagram, we have a system for every person that follows us or engages with our content. They get sent certain stimuli and those people get booked on calls and we make money. We make a lot of money from Instagram and Twitter because we have a simple conversion system. You must think through, okay, how do we turn these views, this attention, into actual money in our pocket? And focus on one system at a time, like I said. So if you're going to set up Instagram after setting up your YouTube, focus on Instagram until you're actually getting engagement on there. And then figure out, how do I convert that engagement? Then once you have that entire system in place, move on to the next one, okay? And number 5, the most important part when it comes to inbound that I swear no one seems to listen to and everyone forgets. But this one principle, I've saved it to the very end for this reason, is the most important thing. And this is the number one reason for any of my small success I've had with inbound. Once again, we're doing $76,000, no ads, no outreach, just inbound traffic. Because of this principle. This is the equation that Charlie Morgan gave me for his inbound success. And I've used it incredibly well for myself so far, which is this, okay? Value times consistency times time equals money with inbound. So if you're trying to book calls, if you're trying to get sales, the only thing that matters is the value you're providing, how consistent you're doing it, and how long you've been doing it for. People ask me, what's the secret to YouTube? How do you get so many people? How do you get so many followers? Guys, on this channel, I have freaking 300 videos almost in 3 or 4 months. On my main channel, I have 8 months of posting every single week, twice a week, adding value for 8 months straight. If you're making 2 videos and wondering why you're not making money, it's because you're just clueless. Like, think about it. It takes a long time to build a following. And some of you guys have been watching my content for 6 months and you've still not bought anything from me, right? So like, it takes a long time for people to truly see the value you provide and let that value change their life to the point where they want to invest in what you're doing to get that next level of progress for themselves. So once again, value times consistency times time equals money with inbound. That is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully this helps you. I know most people have clicked off a long time ago because this one got deep, but the people who actually have some brain cells to use, man, this is going to make you a lot of money if you apply this. I'm serious. Now you're going to have to do some thinking for yourself to figure out what variables are yours and your systems and stuff, but all my killers out there, I can't wait to see what you do with this video. So if you learned something, let me know in the comments what you learned, the best thing you learned, and yeah, see you guys later. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you got value.